Hi guys, Jane here. And I feel like this video is going to be a little bit on the short side because I'm talking about third person omniscient and I don't write in third person omniscient. I never have and I probably never really will. I really don't enjoy reading it and I don't enjoy writing it. But I did want to go ahead and tell you a little bit about what I know about omniscient so that I'm making a complete series and so that you can make choices for yourselves about what to do. Omniscient was a style that was used a lot more frequently in older books, and it's not used very often now. I've been told it is done really, really well in the book Dune. I've not actually read Dune. I've seen the movie. The movie was great. But I know it is used, if it is used, it tends to be used in science fiction and fantasy. Those are where you're going to find it the most. So when you are reading a book that is written in omniscient, you have a narrator who is not a character in the story generally, but who knows everything. They know what everybody thought, what everybody did, past, present, future, and any of that information can be given to the reader at any time in the story. So you might have a scene where, you know, Sally meets Brett and and your narrator might say, Brett didn't know that was going to be the most important day of his life. 5 years from now, he'd look back and he'd wish he could remember it better, or whatever. That is, the narrator knows everything. This is one of the furthest away narratives you can do. It's very hard for me as a reader to connect with the story because it is so distant. It's hard to develop characters. It definitely does not, in my opinion, work in character stories. It probably works in plot stories and setting stories where the main focus is on the plot or the setting. But if your main focus is on the characters, it's really hard to get close to a character when the narrator is so far away from the situation. The narrator is almost godlike in the this is what happened, this is what I witnessed, this is what you need to know. To me, those tend to also have a lot of info dumps, and it tends to be a little bit confusing because you have all this stuff going on and you're head hopping, you know what everybody's doing, what everybody's motivation is. It doesn't work for me. It's a style I don't like. What are the advantages? Well, the obvious advantage is that you can tell everything. You can tell how this event affects people later. You can look into the future. You can look into the far, far past that your characters don't know. This all was set up 20 years ago by a wizard, unbeknownst to our characters. It has its advantages and it has its place, but that's mostly kind of the place of advantage. You can bring in things that your characters cannot ever know. Things that aren't, I won't say that aren't important to the story because that's not what I mean, but that aren't important to the characters to know. They don't have to have a reveal of just, this happened and all the records were lost. And some people do prologues in Omniscient, and I'm not against that. A prologue in Omniscient isn't bad, but I don't enjoy a whole novel written in Omniscient because I kind of feel in some ways like it's cheating, and it's hard for me to get into a story and like the timeliness I feel like isn't there. It doesn't feel like it's happening in front of me. It doesn't feel like I'm catching the emotions of the characters because it is a very distant narration normally. And I think the distance is the main drawback because you can tell any story and you can tell what's happening to any character. You know everything, so there's none of the, well, how do I reveal it? I guess info dumps are also another disadvantage, I would say, but it just, in a modern sense, I don't think many stories are written that way. It's hard to do well, and if you do it well, I think you have a much more limited reader base than if you do either third person limited or first person. So yeah, Omniscient's not my favorite. How about you? Do you like Omniscient? Do you hate it? Do you know any books that are really, really amazing that are written in Omniscient third person? Comment below, let me know what you think. If this has been helpful, hit like, And if you want more content, hit subscribe. Thanks. Bye.